Yes, and so Sinla Unini's standard narrative of 11 tablets was entitled He Who Saw the Deep. So the Epic of Gilgamesh is a modern rendering of the title, and it's an interpretive rendering. It's saying that it's an epic, which, as I mentioned in class, gets people thinking about the story in a certain way. Usually with an epic, people are thinking all about the action and heroic figures and stuff. So I counsel you just to, maybe have the title of Gilgamesh working for you, but actually He Who Saw the Deep is probably a better rendering of the title. Anyway, to continue with the story of the history of the text of Gilgamesh, uh, so in 1200 BCE, we get the standard version of it. And the standard version, by this time, is moved well out of ancient Sumer. It's gone into other civilizations. Uh, Gilgamesh and the story of Gilgamesh in the Sumerian language becomes a type of lingua franca that is passed from one civilization to another. And so uh, administrators and scholars in other civilizations are still using Gilgamesh and the story of Gilgamesh, transcribing it from Sumerian into their own language. Uh, and so this is done over and over again, and that's why these clay tablets exist to begin with. That the story of Gilgamesh was told over and over again in different societies, and that's why we have you know some of the material that we have, that so much of it was produced. Okay, continue with the story. Around 100 BC, the last copy of Gilgamesh is rendered, and then Gilgamesh goes dark for about 2,000 years until the 19th century, when European archaeologists dig up um, the tablets, or dig up remnants of the tablet and start gluing them together. And this is in the late 1840s. And by the late 1870s, a first translation is rendered, and then Gilgamesh enters the uh, enters back into Western culture as a story, and eventually becomes part of the Western canon, as we can see reading it in this class, Intellectual Heritage. Okay, so that's the basic background to the story. The next thing I want to look at is Gilgamesh within the context of oral culture.